Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I just gotta get a snack. That was a lot of work. Do you need more?
I just want that.
Mmm.
Look at the hat.
It's got a corgi on it.
Can I switch it backwards now?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Brad and Steph, for the corgi hat.
A+. Stay tuned for more hats.
There's some doozies.
There's some doozies, that's for sure. Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
and
Fidgeting with the camera.
oh my god. We got a new camera, people, and I don't know. It was on 4K, now it's not on 4K because I don't know what's best. We are here again today with our final 10.
We did it.
It's our top 50 games of all time. Our top 50. Mine, Jeff, and our Patreons. We have already gone through 50 to 11. If you would like, and I highly encourage you to, you could go back and watch all of those, because if you haven't seen them, you've missed some pretty amazing games. If I do say so myself, specifically on my list. We are coming at you with number 10 to 1, the best games in the entire world, objectively.
My hat like blends in with the background.
So does your sweater. You're like a floating head.
Yeah. What does it say? It's like
Cowbop. Cowbop.
Cowbop. Cow-bop.
I told you. We are going to do our number 10 and so forth, and then we're also going to throw in our Patreon. I want to say a huge thank you to John, who collected all of the data, and he did math with it, and then gave us the list. And he's got like percentages and stuff that I don't understand, but I'm just going to read you the top 10 list, okay? But before we get into our number 10, I will just say that the Patreons, the one that just missed their list, their 11 was Dice Throne. So,
I'm getting a lot of heat for my Dice Throne ranking.
yeah, as you should.
I'm standing by it.
But Patreon put it at number 11. We have an entire Dice Throne channel in our Discord. If you're interested, it's in there.
My number 10 favorite game of all time is by my favorite designer, Uwe Rosenberg. And that is
Patrick!
For Odin.
Oh.
Jamie hates A Feast for
I
Odin.
don't hate it.
Just kidding.
I just don't get it.
She doesn't get it. Feast for Odin is a worker placement game where you are ultimately just trying to race for points, but you do that in a unique way by placing out polyomino tiles. And when you play those tiles out in your kind of board area, you're actually going to be decreasing your score because it starts in the negatives. It's kind of like a combo-y thing, like you want to build a longship so that you can go to some islands, and the islands give you a new board to place things out on, and there's bonuses that you can get. It's just a huge, sprawling worker placement game that I have fallen in love with. Primarily, I've only played it one time in person, but primarily played on BGA. I'm trying to find a copy, but it's very difficult to find.
Oh, no.
I do think Jamie would like it in person if we could sit and I could show her everything.
The brothers of the Murph family, have you heard of them?
They're going to be happy with that pick. Actually, no, they're going to crap on me because it's 10 and not 1.
My number 10 board game of all time is The Lost Ruins of Arnak from CGE. Now, listen, people, this game is a game that I love, and I will continue to champion. But I do want to put a caveat on this. This is in the number 10 spot when played with the Expedition Leaders expansion, which I just basically now consider to be an essential part of the game.
I agree. I don't agree that it's 10. I agree that it significantly improves the game.
We have had debates, Jeff and I, about many things in life.
Me and you.
Arnak is one of them because everyone, especially Jeff, is like, damn it, better. But you know what I don't care about?
It's weird that my voice is...
Do you know what I don't care about? Spice. I don't care about it. I just don't care about it. Anyways, I prefer Arnak.
What about on food? You like bland food?
I eat chocolate. What kind of spice are you putting in chocolate? More chocolate, more sugar.
Pop Rocks?
Maybe a little salt.
Don't do that. I hate that. I hate that so much.
Lost Ruins of Arnak is a worker placement deck building game set in the jungle. And you're trying to like research these tomes. Is that what they're called? Anyways, these tomes or whatever. And then you're going out and you're exploring and you're fighting off monsters and you're collecting resources. The monsters are called guardians, and one of them looks like a T-Rex. A T-Rex, yes. And with the Expedition Leaders expansion, it basically makes you have some asymmetrical powers, which I think is the reason why it totally ups the ante in this game.
Listen, I agree. I do think that was a very, very good expansion for that game.
Yeah. I love this game. I have loved it since it came out. I will forever champion this game because I just think it's so fun. I like trying different strategies every time that I play. I am almost always in a game of this on BGA, so I just love it. I don't know. I love that theme. There's something like about the Indiana Jones-esque theme that I'm just forever into.
You do love that.
I do. The Patreon community, our lovely Patreons.
I have not heard these.
Their number 10 game of all time has already been mentioned on my list in the last video, and that is Viticulture from Stonemaier Games, which totally makes sense, okay? Because Viticulture is a classic. It's a classic that everyone loves. You're making wine, and you're living the good life.
I'm actually shocked Viticulture wasn't on my list.
I am too.
I really do enjoy Viticulture.
Yeah, what up with that?
I would like to play it again with like Tuscany and get real into it.
Yeah, get into it.
I just feel like it's been too long. Maybe I'll bung that one up.
Bunged it up.
It wouldn't be this high, but
you really shrewded it.
My number 9 is a new to me game this year, and it is one that is likely also to continue rise. It is one that is also likely to continue to rise on this list, even though it's already at 9.
What is it?
It is Undaunted.
Undaunted.
I've only played Normandy, which I think is the OG version of Undaunted, but Undaunted is a scenario-based skirmish-esque game where you have objectives. Either you're playing as the Axis or the Allies, you are kind of moving your troops around a map. It's a bit of a deck builder. There's different troop types, different objective types. You can put up traps, you can put up barbed wire, you can do all these really, really cool things. And it's kind of chess-like where you're just manipulating people around. I am completely obsessed with this game. I really wish we would play it more.
I do too. I also love this game. It is not on my list because Jeff's played it more than me. I've only played it once, so, and I loved it, but I feel like it's a game I need to play more.
It's one that, it's kind of a lifestyle game. Not really, but it's one that you definitely need to have out and continue to play because it is scenario-based.
Yeah.
I love it. I just picked up Stalingrad, and I'm really excited for Battle of Britain to come out this year. This might be a spicy take, but I like miniatures. So I kind of want to get a little, like...
You?
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that.
I kind of want to get some, like, little army miniatures to go with the game. I think that'd be really cool. But anyway, Undaunted is one that I've just completely fallen head over heels for, and I'm excited to explore it more. But that is my number 9.
My number 9 is a game that has already come up on Jeff's list at a number that, to be honest, when I think about it, it makes me want to cry. Because this game is phenomenal. It's about yay big. And it just gets the party going, okay? And that game is Fuji Flesh. Fuji Flesh. Choo-choo train. Choo-choo train. Choo-choo train.
I do love Fuji Flesh. Yeah, it's probably unfair that's at 50. It is so good.
It is so good. We have never once played this game where everyone at the table wasn't laughing and just having the best time. It is a simple card game that plays best with a lot of people, and all you're doing is you're trying to get rid of the cards in your hand, and you're doing that by flushing out other cards. You're going to play a card down, and if someone plays a higher card, it's flushed. You got to draw back up. But if we get all the way back around to you, you get to get rid of that card. Now, the best part about this game is creating chew trains, okay? And I will say, I learned about the chew train from Board Game Barrage, okay? I don't know if they invented it, but that's where I got it from. For anybody who's wondering. So basically, if I were to lay down a 2, it's only worth 2. Boring. If Jeff lays down a 2, guess what? It's a 2 chew train, and now together we are stronger. It's like a nice metaphor for just humanity. Together we are stronger. Now we are 4. And if the next person plays a 2, that's an even bigger 2 chew train, and now we're 6. And somebody has to play higher than that to flush us all out. This game is very hard to find because it's out of print. It's not actually, like, you can find it pretty easily, and
I
it's
feel like
not expensive.
most people have found a copy.
Most people have been able to find it, but it is out of print. It's a Friedman Freeze game. We are on the Friedman Freeze collection train because his games are just unique.
However, we haven't played Power Grid.
We haven't played Power Grid. But you know what we have played is Fuji Flush. And this game's amazing. And I love it. It goes everywhere with us. I will always love this game for something that is so simple to bring so much joy and energy to a room.
Do you think that was what he was thinking when he designed the game? Bringing humanity closer together? Is that
probably?
The theme?
That's such a Friedman Freeze thing to do.
Yeah.
Our Patreon communities, number 9, is a game about cows. And that is Great Western Trail.
Oh,
they love it. And I know a few of them. I know a few of them who always be playing that game, okay? They love it.
It's really good. That's a great pick. Great Western Trail is great. Really?
I think I need to play it again.
I thought they were going to say Agricola, and I was really excited.
I haven't fully looked at the list. I don't know if that's on there. Better freaking not be, you guys.
My number 8 is a game that Jamie just absolutely loves.
If this is Agricola.
It's another Uwe Rosenberg game called Agricola.
I'm sorry, I'm just feeding my family. All better.
Can I talk now, or are you going to rudely interrupt me?
I was giving myself something to do. Go ahead.
Agricola is my favorite Uwe game, and it is a action selection kind of farm simulator where you need to build out your farm and feed your family. You do that by building out pastures that you can put your animals in, by building like upgrades to your house, like an oven so that you can exchange resources for food. It's a super punishing game, and I understand that most people don't enjoy that, but I really do. I can do incredibly terribly in this game or incredibly good. It just seems to depend on what cards come up and how effective I am with my strategy. But every game's different. I think it plays so good at 2-player. I really wish Jamie liked it because I do think it would be a game that we could play over and over again, but she never will.
Okay, my number 8 is a game that we just discovered this year. By this year, I mean 2022. The first time that I played it, it was like love at first sight when I first opened the box because there was a Lazy Susan inside. And that is Planet Unknown.
No.
Yes. I love this game. I love this game. I love this game. I think this game is going to skyrocket on the BGG list. It already is climbing really fast. Since we have gotten this game, we've already played it like 7 times.
8?
8 times?
No.
Oh.
8?
8! Yes, 8! And when I first did this list and it was there, I was like, is this right? But you know what? I feel extremely confident that it's there. This game is amazing. It's everything that I love. It's a polyomino tile placement game. You're building out tiles on a planet. You're building out different kinds of like terrain, and you're moving up on these tracks, and you're bumping tracks. And there's each planet, there's asymmetrical planets. There's asymmetrical factory boards. You got little car things that are going around. They're eating meteors.
Rovers.
And there's a Lazy Susan.
Rovers. And it says Susan on it.
It says Susan on it, and that's the depot where you get the tiles. We have played this game at 2 players. We have played it at 3 players. We have played it at 4 players and 5 players. This game is perfect to me. I'd like to find somebody who plays that and doesn't like it.
I have no complaints about it.
I dare you to try.
I don't know what's going to come out this year and what I'm going to play, but I'm confident that it's going to be in my top 20 next year. Confident.
Yeah. And I have no qualms about it being number 8 because it's freaking awesome. I made an error in our Patreon. Number 10 was actually Viticulture and tied with Great Western Trail.
Oh, there's a tie.
There was a tie.
All right.
Number 9 was Seven Wonders Duel.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I don't like.
I just played it too much.
So now we're on number 8. Okay, we're back in it, people. Number 8 on their list is Scythe.
Great pick.
Great pick. And not at all surprised. It's a classic.
Yeah.
I love it.
My number 7 is from another one of my favorite publishers, Leader Games. And that is Vast Crystal Caverns.
So close. We were a crossover on it last year.
Were we?
Mm-hmm.
A true crossover?
A true crossover.
Vast
Bunged
Crystal
it up.
Caverns Vast Crystal Caverns is a asymmetrical game. It's actually called Vast Crystal Caverns. Vast Crystal Caverns is an asymmetrical game where everyone basically is trying to kill someone else. So there is someone playing as a cave. And the cave's objective is to basically build itself out and then collapse itself in, killing everyone that's in the cave. There is a dragon that is trying to collect jewels and kill the goblins. The goblins are trying to kill the... Wait, did I get that wrong? Who's the dragon trying to kill?
Goblins are trying to kill the dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon's trying to kill the knight.
And the knight's trying to kill the goblins? No. The knight's trying to get out. No, the dragon's trying to get out.
Dragon's trying to get out.
No.
No. I'm just trying to think of I think the dragon is trying to kill the goblins. Doesn't the dragon eat the goblins? The thief is trying to get out. Thief wants to get out. Cave kills everyone. Goblins attack dragon. No. Dragon attacks goblins. Goblins attack knight. Knight attacks dragon. Maybe the knight's trying to get out. No. We figured it out.
All right. The cave wants to expand, collapse on itself, and then trap everyone in the cave.
Dead.
The knight needs to kill the dragon needs to escape the cave, and the goblins are trying to kill the knight.
Yes.
There also is a
thief
character who's basically just going around causing chaos.
Yeah.
He's like a ghost, and he's been trapped in the cave, and he's just going around looting stuff and trying to mess with everyone else.
Yes.
It is asymmetry in its most pure form, because the cave is the board. The cave is building itself out for everyone to get around, and the goblins kind of lurk in the shadows, and they can pop into the cave, but they want to stay out of the light. The dragon is just this big, beefy lady dragon who wants to eat and kill and get out, and the knight's kind of just ripping around trying to kill the dragon. It's so fun. One I wish we could get to the table more. Yeah. But, yeah, so good.
My number 7 favorite game of all time is one that Jeff has already talked about forever ago. At a time when I couldn't even believe it. It's Castles of Burgundy. I love Castles of Burgundy. Basically, it is like a dice worker placement game, essentially. So, kind of. But you have like a duchy that you're building out in front of you, and the duchy has different die numbers and terrain types that each hex wants to take. So you are rolling dice and then taking an action based off that die. So say you have a number 3. Well, you can place one of the tiles that you've saved into a number 3 spot, so long as it's adjacent to something that's already there. You can take a tile from the number 3 spot on the board. I'm not going to go through everything because there's so much that you can do. This is like a Euro game extreme. Euro extreme, okay? Point salad.
Oozing in theme.
Oozing in theme. I don't know what it is about Castles of Burgundy. Because
me neither, but it's amazing.
This isn't the type of game that I would typically be drawn to. And playing it physically, like, the setup is a pain in the keister. But let me tell you, it's so worth it. And I absolutely love this game at 2 players. And, of course, we have the new big fancy one coming, and I'm so excited to finally get that. But I love Castles of Burgundy. It's just like a classic, and it's something that I feel like everyone should probably experience at least once, because it's so fun.
It is really good.
Patreon number 7 is a game that Jeff and I have never played. And it is, I think, one of our biggest gaps. And that is Concordia.
Oh, yeah.
We've never played this. I feel like, obviously it's super popular, but like everyone loves this game. And it's just not one that we have ever...
I don't even know what it is.
I don't even know what it is either. I know there's a lady on the box. You tell us. I don't know.
My number 6 is a game that Jamie and I both enjoy together. It might be my favorite publisher now. That is GMT Games. My number 6 is Cuba Libre.
Directorio!
Cuba Libre is a coin game in the coin series that is utilizing the Cuban Revolution kind of historical narrative to produce a game. Ultimately, out of 4 player, you have 1 player playing as a syndicate, which is basically the mob, 1 playing as the government, which is Bautista and the Cuban government, 1 playing as the Directorio, which is like the student movement, and then 1 playing as the July 26th, which is Fidel Castro and his rebellious movement, I guess. It's an asymmetrical war game with a ton of stuff going on. Every single game is different because it's driven by event cards. That is why I love it so much. Every time we play it, it's completely different. I'm still trying to figure out the strategy. I've never, ever won this game, but I've enjoyed every single play of it that we've done, and I'm just falling in love with that series. And I imagine this time next year, there's probably going to be more coin games on this list because...
We're playing another one right now.
Yeah, we are playing A Distant Plane currently, and I'm also loving that one.
Now, if Jeff had just held up just one, then we could have had a true crossover because my number 6 game of all time is Vast the Crystal Caverns. My number 6 is Vast Crystal Caverns.
If you said Caverns again, I would have died.
This is one of the few games that I have had the pleasure of experiencing reading the rule book and immediately falling in love with the game. I did not think that I would like it. I was intimidated to learn it because of the asymmetry, and I was the one who learned every faction so that I could help answer questions because there should be one person that knows all of the things.
Agreed.
I love this game. It is just so much fun. The fact that everybody is out to get somebody else is the element of the game that I just think is the absolute best because you can't get mad at somebody for that.
Well,
because I mean, sure you can, but I'm just trying to kill a dragon.
The whole point of the game is to attack someone else.
Yeah, so we have played this at 4 and we've played it at 5. Jeff's been the goblins both times. I played as the knight and then as the thief, and both were super fun because the thief is literally just a bit of a disturber going around stealing things, and then he'll die, but then boop, he comes back to life because he's a ghost and you can't really kill him. Number 6 game of all time for our Patreon community is Ark Nova, a game that has taken the world by freaking storm with the most stunning art that you ever did see. Have you Googled animals at the zoo?
I have to find it.
Because that's Ark Nova.
My number 5 has already been mentioned. To use Jamie's joke, way too high on Jamie's list.
Way too high.
That is Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation. Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation is, I think, a masterpiece. And people will be like, well, it's just Stratego. Well, then in that case, Stratego is a friggin' masterpiece. Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation is a Lord of the Rings themed Stratego where you are basically trying to move your little figures, whether you're playing as the Fellowship or Sauron and his minions, to the other side of the board. There will be battles as your characters come and meet in certain sections of the board, and then you secretly turn those. Each one has abilities that will trigger, and then you will play cards. And they all have base value power, and then highest power wins. One gets killed, the other stays on the board, flips back around. You can juggle them around so people don't know who it is what. That's basically it. It's incredibly fast and simple to set up. You can be playing this game in 5 minutes, and there's a depth of strategy that I absolutely love, and I can't ever seeing it leaving this kind of area on my list.
It's one of those games that we're always just it's like a comfort food game. That's how I feel.
Yeah, now that I'm talking about it, I want to play it tonight.
This feels like a great time to take a break, play a little Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation, and talk about our sponsor of today's video, the World Series of Board Gaming. The World Series of Board Gaming is happening in September in Las Vegas, where I'm sure you could find some hobbits and dwarves and elves and all of those things. Vegas has everything, including the World Series of Board Gaming, where you have the opportunity to compete in 16 different games, and every winner of each of those games receives a custom ring. My precious. Well, okay, not that ring, but it is a World Series of Board Gaming ring, and it is very, very cool. You also have the chance to win a grand prize of $25,000. Just imagine how many Tatoes, precious, you could buy with that. I hope people know Lord of the Rings, otherwise these references are not going to make sense. If you're not overly competitive, well, not to worry. You can just go and play in their open gaming library, which is donated from Dice Tower West, and I have played with this library, and I can tell you they do have Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation, and they do have a very large version of it. I think it's a deluxe. So if you are interested in attending the World Series of Board Gaming in 2023, all of the information is down below for you. And not to mention, we also have some referral codes. And I just need to say that Jeff and I are having a competition to see who can sell more tickets. And I'm a little disappointed because so far it's been Jeff, even though I have barely mumbled his code, which is Foster the Jeff, and my code is Foster the Jamie, and I usually put his in small print, and yet still he has sold more tickets than me. Don't be like Sauron, and don't be like the bad guys. Be the Fellowship, like Jamie, on the good side, like Frodo and Sam, walking through Middle-earth, going to Mordor. Support the good guys, people, and use the code FOSTERTHEJAMIE. And that's all for today. Let's get back to our video. My number 5 game of all time is a new one to us this year, and that is Kanban Eevee.
I knew it was going to be here.
Another game that I read the rule book and was immediately like, I love this game. Do you remember when I read it? I was literally like, Jeff, I love this game. I love it. I love this game. I freaking love this game. We finally got to play it when we visited our friends Tyler and Ilya from Cavray this summer. I loved it. I loved it. And then we played it again together. And I just want to show this to so many people because I feel like Lacerda games are extremely intimidating, and this was the best possible scenario, the best possible game for us to come into the Lacerda world on. So basically you're working in a car factory. Everything that you do in this game just makes sense, and that is why it's like the beauty of this game. You know what? I need to create a design for a car, then I need to go and build the car, then we need to go and we need to do driving tests for the car, and then your boss comes around, she's like, you suck at your job, you need to work harder, you
get a certificate, idiot.
Get a certificate, idiot. And then you have to go to meetings because it's work. I don't know. I love this game.
It is so good.
It is so, so good.
What's our next Lacerda going to be? We talked about this already.
Oh, yeah. I am between Vinyos and the Gallerist.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm between Vinyos and Lisboa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The number 5 game of the Patreon community is the Castles of Burgundy because the Patreon community knows what good games are.
My number 4 favorite game of all time.
I love my top 5 so much.
Me too. My number 4 favorite game of all time is Dune Imperium. Dune Imperium, unlike Jamie's Lost Ruins of Arnak, is actually a good combination of worker placement plus deck building that adds a fighting component, a combat component. I just think, again, like, I'm not actually crapping on Lost Ruins of Arnak. However, I just think Dune Imperium is so much tighter. I feel like there's a depth of strategy there that doesn't exist in Lost Ruins of Arnak. Come at me, I don't care. It's my opinion. Get over it. However, all of this being said, I haven't played any of the Dune Imperium expansions. I've only played base game. And I think if I played some of the expansion, this might even be higher because I've enjoyed every single play of this. And I'm looking forward to exploring more. It's one we actually don't own, which is shocking to me. Jamie's brother owns it, but I think I want to get my own copy because I do think that's one we could play 3-player and really have a good time with it. I do also love the Doom books and the Doom IP and the movie, so that also plays into all of this.
I wonder how it plays it too.
Don't know.
We've only played it at 4 and 3.
And 3.
My number 4 was way too low on Jeff's list. Way too low.
I think I said too high when I was talking about yours, man.
Too high, high above me. She's so lovely. She's so high, like Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, and Aphrodite.
What was I
Someone's
saying?
gonna, can you guys just talk about games?
If you don't like singing, plug your ears. My number 4 game of all time is, of course, Dice Throne. Obviously, that deserves to be within my top 5. Dice Throne is a game that, one of the games that got us into the hobby. We have loved this game for years.
Forever.
We started playing Dice Throne back when it was before the rerolled, the OG Dice Throne. And then we got even more into it this year. We had our Dice Throne tournament. We have played all of the characters, including the Marvel set. And it is just, I don't know, this is one of those games that I love because of its simplicity. You're just rolling dice and doing stuff, okay? It's not overly complicated. And what you're doing is attacking somebody else. And I just so happen to be really good at this game. My dice rolling is better than Jeff's dice rolling. Fight me on that, Jeff.
Do you want to go back to the
You know what?
tournament?
There's just this thing where sometimes I think I just let you win on camera because I don't want you to cry. Oh, the Patreon community's number 4 game of all time is Everdell. Everdell is one that we haven't played a ton of because Jeff hasn't been a huge fan of it.
I'd like to try it again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We are getting my little Everdell, so we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes, yeah.
My number 3, it might be the only game I'm confident in. Confident in that I might
exactly
pull off a win. That is Res Arcana.
Knew it.
Res Arcana is so good. I prefer to play Res Arcana without the draft variant, so the traditional way that you play Res Arcana, and that is just you are dealt a couple of mages, a hand of cards, and you need to make that combination work. However that happens is up to you. So you get to look at your cards, make a plan of attack, make a strategy before the game even starts, look at the places of power that are out, and then you go. It's a race to 10 points, and ultimately you're just trying to build up as much synergy between your mages, your cards, your places of power, the monuments that you build, collecting resources and building more stuff in order to race to 10. And I absolutely love it.
My number 3 favorite board game of all time is another one that is new to us this year, and I don't see it leaving my top 10 anytime soon. That is Wonderland's War from Druid City Games and Skybound Tabletop. This game is a masterpiece, I think. It's like artwork on the table, and it is so much fun. First of all, it's Alice in Wonderland theme, which I absolutely love. Second of all, it has bag building, which I also love. Thirdly, it has battling, and everybody knows that I love a good fight. So basically, in this game, you're having a tea party, and during that tea party, you are going to be going around and collecting different chits to put in your bag, or chips, I guess, to put in your bag. And then you're also going to be adding potentially Wonderlandians, so the different people of Wonderland, and they're going to be able to give you different abilities. So either chips to add to your bag, or little figures to put out on the board. And you are doing all of this in hopes to win majority or control of different areas of Wonderland. So after the tea party phase, you are going out into that phase where you are then going to be battling for control of different areas. You might sometimes not even want to win because you have different objectives that might be, no, you just need to end up here, or you need to lose by 3 or something like that, whatever it might be. It's beautiful. It is fun. It is silly. There is minimal downtime. There is not minimal setup. Okay, setup takes forever, but this is one of those games where I don't even care. I think it's worth it. I don't know, whoever made this game, can you please just make more? I don't know, maybe make a game like this in like a Robin Hood theme. Or maybe, like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's so, I don't know. I just want games that are this thematic and beautiful and fun. I want more games like this, please. I love this game. Do you want to know why I love our Patreon community? Because their number 3 game is The Lost Ruins of Arnak.
That's a
and
bit.
Do you know?
That's John.
He didn't make the list. He's just doing the
Let me
math.
say something quick. John, is this a bit? Did you do this as a bit to get at me? Because it worked.
And do you know what game's just not on the list? Spoiler alert, is Dune Imperium. Jeffrey, on to your number 2.
My number 2 game is a game that Jamie retried this year and finally gave it the credit that it is due.
Oh, right. Okay,
And
I was
it
wondering,
might be. You know what? It's not even might. I think this is perfect game design. I think this game is absolutely perfect, and that is Brass Birmingham. Birmingham.
Lancashire. I learned.
Brass Birmingham is it a Euro game?
I still
Brass
don't know what a Euro
Birmingham
game
is like a route building, resource development kind of industry.
It's an economic game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an economical game where basically you are producing resources that will allow you to increase your industry in order to produce more resources. This is done over 2 eras. One is the canal era, one is the rail era, and you're just building out networks of goods and transfer of goods between cities, and that is basically the game. And I just think it is absolutely perfect.
My number 2 favorite game of all time, this is pushing it to take over my number 1, and that is Final Girl from Van Ryder Games. Final Girl from Van Ryder Games is a solo experience where you are playing as a final girl. Think of the final girl trope. finally fighting back against bad guys. I have the entirety of season 1. Every single one of the boxes, you have different options of final girls, and you have a different villain that you're fighting against. You have a different scene and a different story, and there's some different mechanics. This game is so thematic, it is so immersive, and it is by far my favorite solo game. And honestly, this is the game that got me into playing solo games. Like,
True.
I love it. I have everything for it. I have everything for season 2 on the way. And I don't know, it is just like, I love horror. I love creepy things. I love weird things. And this is just one of those games where it's silly fun, just like a classic horror movie. Literally anything that comes out for this game, I'm all in on. There's something very special and unique about this game. I haven't played anything like it. I think my number 1's At Risk.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, our Patreon community's number 2 game of all time is Cascadia. That's a great game, and it was on my top 50, and I love it.
169.
It's within my 50. 169? You and the Patreons are not on the same
Yeah, me
page.
and the Patreons are not in the same wheelhouse for games, apparently.
We are, though.
That's fine. That's fine. That's why we do this thing. Everyone likes their own thing, you know, and that's
Everyone
okay.
likes their own thing.
That's okay.
Nobody's good at everything.
Everybody's good at something.
Everybody's good at something.
My
thing, sound
number
effects.
1 favorite game of all time is actually a social deduction game.
No, it's not.
That is Awkward Guests.
No, it's not.
My number 1 favorite game is unchanged from last year, and that is Root. Root is a twist on coin games where everyone is playing an asymmetrical faction, and they are ripping around the woodland trying to achieve their objectives. The cats are trying to build up their infrastructure. The birds are trying to kind of move around and build their little bases up. The lizards are trying to convert people into stuff. Yada, 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 yada. Blah, 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 blah. Root is incredible. And I don't know if it's ever going to come out of that number 1 spot because I absolutely love every time I've played it. I think I've probably played at least 100 games of Root in 2022. There's still so much of this game that I haven't explored yet.
Yeah.
So I don't see how this is ever going to come off my list at number 1 in a very long time.
Yeah. My number 1 game of all time is Unchanged. But I think it's slipping for me a little bit. But I still love it. It's still my number 1 game, and that is Villainous, okay? Villainous as a whole.
You're doing the whole thing?
I'm doing the whole thing.
Can you tell me which one you love the most?
Disney Villainous.
You love Disney more than...
Yes, Disney over Star Wars. Way the heck over Marvel. Villainous is a game that I love for many reasons. And number 1, there's a huge nostalgia factor for me. I am a wildly large fan of Disney. Like, I love Disney, and I particularly love Disney villains. Like, I love villains. I love this game because it is something that you can play with everyone. I get a lot of heat for loving this game, and for that I say poo on you, okay?
I agree.
Because this game just brings me joy. And I know it's not perfect, and that's okay, but I have fun, and I love the way that we can play and mix and match with the different villains, and how every villain feels like that villain to me. Like, I don't know, there's something special about this game, and I love, like, the endless possibilities, and every time a new set comes out, I'm going to be excited. Now that they're getting into Pixar characters, I cannot wait for Hopper and Oogie Boogie at some point. I mean, I don't know.
Endless opportunity, let's be honest.
Endless opportunities. I just love it. I love Villainous, but I do think it is slipping. Is it because I lost the tournament? Twice. Possibly.
But lots of people I mentioned, we made some errors. I made some errors in that, so I don't know. We'll have to do it again.
Asterix win.
We'll have to do it again.
For our Patreon's number 1 game of all time, they have selected the classic Wingspan. And what an excellent number 1 pick.
I never could have guessed.
I'm quite often in a game of Wingspan with members of the Patreon community.
That's fair, yeah.
I love it. I love this game. It is on my top 50.
Can I be honest with you, though? I've been playing more Wingspan recently than I have in forever.
Yeah.
And it's
great.
I do love it.
Yeah. Wingspan is honestly one of those games that I strongly believe that everybody should play. Just show it to your friends.
I want to get
the, like, ooh, birds.
I want to get the Oceania.
Oh, yeah, me too.
We
did it. Those are our top 10 board games of all time. We love them. We love games, and I love to see this list change every year because it is going to keep changing.
Someone in our YouTube comments mentioned how omni-gamerish we are. We're super omni-gamers.
We will play everything.
I will play literally anything you want to play.
Whatever you want to play.
Except a few.
Not Agricola.
Ugh.
Don't want to play that. That is everything that we have for today. If you are interested in buying board games like any of the many that we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
Yes, it is. If you're interested in joining us for the Foster the Game-a-Thon, 24-hour all-you-can-play board game-a-thon happening on March 4th. All the information for that will be below. We're very, very excited about it.
And if you want to do cool stuff like getting involved in our top lists, you should join our Patreon.
You should. All the links for that are below too.
You can watch me open up boxes with spoons. It's one of our community's favorite things. Don't ask me why.
They love the spoons.
They just love me opening boxes with spoons.
Yep. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
Can't argue with that because we've played all the games, at least.
Every single game known to man.
Yep,
we've played them.
At least 100 times. That's what makes us influencers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I just put that in my mouth.
Polynomial. What's the word?
Polynomial. All time is one that Jeff's already talked about. Once again.
Again. Start over. Took cat hair on my mouth.
Isn't this amazing, Jeff? That we haven't had to stop. Except for me to point out that we haven't had to stop. Basically, you're working in a car factory. Now that's going to be Barrington factories.
Brass Birmingham. I hate saying it that way, by the way. I just want to state that quickly for all our...
Say it with the British accent.
Our British friends. I hate it. I hate saying it that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. Even though I know that that's the actual way you say it. It feels so weird every time I say it.
Birmingham.
Brass Birmingham.
Versailles.
Oh, good.
Juno, can you not do that right now?
Juno's chomping her nails.
You can hear it so loud in the videos, too. Give her a Sour Patch Kid.